you doing, YWC? This is your Hell in the Cell, WWE Hell in the Cell 2011 review. I'm going to start off by saying this. We've been really up and down with pay-per-views in the past couple of months. I will say Night of Champions blew the big biscuit. SummerSlam was alright. Money in the Bank was a hell of a lot better. I have no problem saying at this point right now, unless they do something really spectacular in the future, I am predicting this, when we get to December, my favorite pay-per-view of 2011 will be this show tonight. I could not wait when the show was over to boot up my computer, log everything else off, flick the camera on, and give you guys my review. Because even though one of the world title matches did not go my way, this was the most fun I have had watching a pay-per-view, with the exception of WrestleMania this year. So let's get right down to it. Started off with Christian and Sheamus. Now, going into this, there's nothing to say that this match has anything to do with their future tag team title aspirations, but if you look at the main event scene on SmackDown, other than Mark Henry and Randy Orton and the up-and-coming Cody Rhodes, who I would love to see in the main event title picture soon, who else have you got? You got Christian, you got Sheamus. I would love to see a main event consisting of Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Christian. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, aren't we? Christian and Sheamus, regular match, not inside the Hell in the Cell, which was kind of disappointing. Sheamus completely overpowered through the entire match. And because he was overpowered, he wasn't being overly technical or overly flashy about it. He was just doing very simple, overpowering, you know, you can try whatever you want to me and I'm still going to swat you away like a fly type of psychology. Christian's offense, on the other hand, was very minimal. His was the smart offense. His was, you know, the stick and move, the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I'm going to take every cheap shot I can type of route. And Christian, my hometown boy, to his credit, sold everything Sheamus had to give to him tonight. I have to say it. Little shot in the arm for Christian's conditioning and charisma. Sheamus looked tired halfway through this match. It didn't, I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Not to say that Christian did not look like a beast in this match, but he looked tired throughout the match. Christian, at the end of this match, looked like he could still go for a little while. In terms of a couple of spots in this match that I really liked, Christian's, and I think he started doing this when he was in TNA, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but his pendulum kick in the corner into a tornado DDT is a nice little combination spot. And I'm sorry, he has taken the spear, made famous by Edge, obviously. He's put his own spin on it, and he's put his own little attitude into it, and I really like the way he does it. Now, the fact that he did it on the outside and got himself and Sheamus nearly counted out wasn't exactly the greatest, but looked good nonetheless. To finish off this match, we have an attempt at the kill switch, countered into an attempt at the Celtic Cross, countered into an attempt at a spear, which is obviously countered by a brogue kick, and Sheamus gets the win. Now, as I've said, Sheamus is on the roll of a lifetime, and Christian, you know, is not leaving the main event scene anytime soon. Christian losing this match tonight has not lost him any steam, in my opinion. Now, we go backstage, and I see Matt Striker with a microphone, and he's standing next to Mark Henry, and I'm thinking, okay, Mark Henry is going to cut another promo. This is going to be a bigger piss break than the Divas match. Now, Mark Henry decided to do his little impression of Matt Striker, and I couldn't help but notice the similarities between Mark Henry's impersonation of Matt Striker and our YWC's own Mr. Spinnernet, and that does not bode well for Mark Henry, does it? Oh, no, it doesn't. Basically sits there, blah, 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 I've never been in Hell in the Cell, it doesn't matter where I am, I could beat you down on a street corner, da-da-da-da. Intimidates Matt Striker, which, if you consider the fact that Matt Striker is now a backstage interview guy, doesn't really, you know, it's about the same as intimidating Josh Matthews or Michael Cole or, you know, the Coach. Where did the Coach go? We should bring the Coach back, just because I want to see The Rock cut another promo on him. But that's another story for another time. The one match I really can't tell you anything specifically about is the Sin Cara versus Sin Cara match, other than, you know, black and silver Sin Cara, you know, the music was a bit different, the pyro was a little bit different, the video was a little bit different, but similar enough to get the idea across that, oh my god, they're identical, even though one's blue and one's black. The damn annoying lights were on, so, you know, dark blue around the outside of the ring, dark yellow in the inside of the ring made everything hard to see, therefore hard for me to take notes on. Despite that, these guys looked like they were sparring in the beginning, or doing the, you know, luchador, high flyer equivalent of sparring. Once they got ramped up and into a match pace, it was a really, really good, you know, predictably it was a spot fest type match, which is fun every now and then. Me, I used to watch WCW for the Cruiserweight, I watched TNA for the X Division, so you know I enjoyed this match, even though the, you know, wrestling purists are like, oh no, it's a spot fest, it shouldn't even be on pay-per-view, da-da-da-da. Now, the one annoying ass part of this match. Now, there was no Jerry the King Lawler, because the storyline is he was injured by Mark Henry, da-da-da-da. So we have JR, Michael Cole, and Booker T, and Michael Cole just needs to leave, and Booker T is silly, and I feel so sorry for JR. But the entire match, it was all about what they were going to call these two guys. It was, you know, Sin Cara 1 and Sin Cara 2, Sin Cara Blue and Sin Cara Black, Sin Cara Negro and Sin Cara whatever the Mexican word for blue is. I can't think of it or remember it off the top of my head. I am sorry if there's anybody in my subscription list that is Mexican or speaks Mexican. I don't know what the word is, so if you want to let me know in the box down below, that's what it's for. A massive counter flip powerbomb gets Blue Sin Cara the win, so I guess Blue Sin Cara is the one that gets to be called Sin Cara. I don't know if they're gonna keep the other one, or if they're, you know, if it's, I don't know if it's, you know, Hunico or Mystico, or if he's going to go back to another name or whatever. I hope they both stick around, because they put on a damn decent match, and if they can flip this around in some kind of way, and have them form a tag team, you know, like, Los Duos Sin Caras, or something like that, and they go on and they face Air Boom, I'd be a happy kid, you know, tag team spot fest, for the win. Dear Vince, these are the things you should do at your pay-per-views. If I started a vlog like that, I would never get any sleep, so let's not do that. We go to the back and we see CM Punk getting ready for his match, even though it's the beginning of the show, which is kind of odd. Otunga comes in his new, you know, lawyer persona with a sweater vest and a bow tie, and looking like quite the tool, and says, hey, I'm gonna represent all the WWE superstars, including you, to make sure we're all treated properly, da-da-da-da. And CM Punk says, you know, I like your, you know, your cashmere sweater, I like your bow tie, I just hate lawyers, and you need to leave. So, you know, that was that. Air Boom, sorry, comes out. We don't know who they're facing, or it's predictable who they're going to face, but whatever. Vicky comes out and introduces Swagger and Ziggler, and they are getting somewhere out of nowhere, they are getting a tag team championship title shot. Now, those of you that have watched this channel know that I'm going to be very, very conflicted in this match. I am a big supporter of Dolph Ziggler. Really think he should turn face. Really think he should get out of this whole Vicky Guerrero, you know, Team Guerrero thing that he's in right now. But I am a big fan of what he can do in the ring. I cannot stand Swagger. So if they're a team, do I cheer them or do I boo them, right? But worry not, I don't have to worry about it very long. Air Boom with some incredible teamwork throughout the entire match. They pull off Poetry in Motion, you know, which has to be a tribute to one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And yes, I'm talking about the Hardy Boys. If you don't like it, go to another channel. Air Boom has speed. Swagger, as much as I hate to admit it, has the power game. And Ziggler has a little bit of everything to add to this match. Cole bitches about Triple H through the entire match, which is just, you know, annoying and very Michael Cole-ish. Evan Bourne eventually gets the hot tag and puts on a high kick clinic for everybody involved. Swagger tries to super power bomb Evan Bourne from the middle rope, which is countered into a Hurricane Rana for the win, while Kofi Kingston holds Ziggler at bay, and Air Boom are still, of course, your WWE Tag Team Champions. Now, regardless of who they face, and, you know, I'm glad to see them because they're getting a huge push, but are we going to really believe that any team they face is going to take the belts off them anytime soon? No. Is it going to be fun to watch them try? Absolutely. But, you know what? You've got the team formerly known as Nexus, which I would still love to see get a push. You've got this Guerrero team that I really don't like at all. You've got, you know, Miz and RTruth, even though they're fired at the moment. Yeah, there are a couple tag teams coming out of the woodwork. And my extreme mistake, during the Christian Sheamus match, while they were being announced, Miz and RTruth did come and sit in the front row saying that they had tickets. Even though they had tickets, John Laurinaitis had them removed from the building right away. I neglected to mention that when I was talking about the Christian and Sheamus match, and I am very sorry. My apologies to all of you. But yes, we go on to Orton versus Henry, the first, Hell in the Cell match of the night. They mention that this is the 22nd Hell in the Cell match ever. Mark Henry did not start this match off as dominant as he started at the last pay-per-view. It was more back and forth. It was more to make you believe that it was going to be a more evenly played out match, but that didn't last very long. Both of the guys, at one point or another, were working each other's arms over around the ring post. But Henry gets a hold of Orton, pillar to post outside the ring, from the cage post to the ring post, etc. Repeated power slams and splashes, both inside the ring and outside of the ring. And Orton plays up very well the psychology, the frustration of just, not being able to get that first big move in, not being able to get himself on track. Plays that, that hero in distress, that frustrated factor very, very well. I do have to say that. Henry hits him in the ring with a splash and a near fall. Henry works over the back with a lot of high impact, short elbow drops and slams and splashes, and wrenched on the big bear hug for what seemed like forever. Orton counters the World's Strongest Slam on the outside, because Henry was about to World's Strongest Slam him onto the ring steps, by climbing up the cage and kicking him and knocking him in the head a couple times and DDTing him on those same steps. Orton hits a really, really quick flurry once they are back in the ring, caps it off with a great drop kick like only Mr. Randy Orton can do. Add to that the suspension DDT, and you get a near fall for Orton. And you get an RKO and another near fall for Mr. Orton. And then he plays up the frustration even more of, oh my god, I hit the RKO and I still can't get him down, and the commentators are building it all up. Oh my god, what's he gonna do now? What's he gonna do now? And it's like, what's the only thing he has left to do? He tries for the punt, completely misses. Mark Henry hits the World's Strongest Slam, and Henry wins. And Henry is still your World Heavyweight Champion, which, if the rest of this pay-per-view wasn't awesome, would have pissed me off. But I can let it slide if, Fat Boy wants to be the champion for a little bit longer. Henry grabs a chair, wants to mangle Orton's foot like he did to Big Show and, Khali and Kane and all that. Orton does the very, very simple thing. Henry's going to splash his leg. He slides his leg out of the way. And it's one of those, in that situation, what would you do? Would you try to get up? Would you try to fight back? Or would you simply slide your leg out of the way? Awesome. It's like, why didn't all those big dumb fuckers do the same thing? Right. And he proceeds to beat Henry down with the chair. And at a very, very rapid pace, Mr. Mark Henry, the world champion, runs away like a bitch. Oh yes, super powerful Mark Henry you are. Anyways, Alberto Del Rio backstage, blah blah blah. I'm going to win because it's my destiny. I'm going to take everybody to hell, and I'm going to win because it's my destiny. Fuck off. Cody Rhodes comes out now. Talks about how he hopes everybody at home is wearing their paper bag. He hopes everybody here is wearing their paper bag. The only thing that deserves to be in a paper bag more than all you people here in Louisiana or wherever they were is this Intercontinental Championship belt. He takes the Intercontinental Championship and puts it in a paper bag. And he says, hand me the velvet bag. And does he not have a modern mock-up of the Intercontinental Championship classic belt? And he says right there, the belt that was worn by the likes of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Steve Austin and Savage and all these other greats. And it was good. And he says, this is the one I'm going to wear. This is the one I'm going to use while I'm bringing prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. Now, it's a really, really cocky move on Cody Rhodes' part, and that's why he did it. But I'll tell you why I like it. I don't harp on the belts very much. When they started using the WWE spinner belt, I figured it wasn't even worth mentioning anymore because the belts were a joke. But look at the belts we have. The World Heavyweight Championship hasn't changed that much since they stole it from WCW. The WWE title is a spinner. It is a joke. The Divas belt is a butterfly. It is a joke. The U.S. title, they sort of recreated when they reinstituted it in the WWE. I can live with it the way it is. The tag team belts, although it's not the popular decision, I like the design of the new tag team championship belts a lot. I have never liked our current Intercontinental Championship belt. It looks like a Tylenol pill. It doesn't look impressive at all. I loved the old Intercontinental Championship Classic belt, and I will tell you why, for one reason and one reason only, is that was the belt that Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon climbed that ladder for at WrestleMania 10. That is the Intercontinental Championship belt, and it is back. I do not care why. I fucking love it. Now, that market moment said and done, we have Mr. John Laryngitis come out and say, Triple H said you have to defend your title and you're going to defend it against this man, and he brings out John Morrison, which makes a fuckload of no sense because Morrison is on Raw and, you know, the Intercontinental Championship is on SmackDown, but, you know, I said the same thing about the Intercontinental Battle Royal a couple weeks ago, didn't I? Rhodes and Morrison out of nowhere. Michael Cole has a fucking heart attack talking about how unfair Triple H is and how unfair the WWE is and how corrupt the WWE is, and oh, this poor man has to fight in his $500 suit and his Gucci's, and JR is making fun of him the whole time, which makes it even better. JR is the driest guy on the commentator table, and he's also the funniest. I have to give him credit for that. He is the best on that commentator table. He could be there by himself and the show would still be awesome. But Morrison owns, you know, for the most part. Cody runs to the outside, true heel fashion, hugs the post on the outside so that he cannot be brought back in, and screams, "Count me out," at the referee. I love that. I thought that was a brilliant bit of heel psychology. I've got the belt. I am desperate to keep the belt. I'm going to stand out here and hug the post. You're going to count me out so that I can keep my championship. I like that. But when he eventually does get brought back in by a kick to the head from John Morrison, he does give Morrison a masked headbutt and then hits a face-first slam on John Morrison. At this point, when Michael Cole is at the height of the little spastic heart attack that he's having at the commentator booth, JR calmly turns to him and says, "I think you need to take a time out and have some herbal tea." I fucking died. I was watching the show by myself, and I fucking died when he said that. Like, it was fucking brilliant. Out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes tries the figure 4 on John Morrison. John Morrison, you know, recovers, gets back up, does that thing that he does. It's like a rock bottom into a backflip. Not sure what it's called. I'm not going to try. He also hits Cody Rhodes with a pretty good Pele that would, you know, that would show AJ Styles a thing or two. But Cody Rhodes, when Morrison goes for another knee kick type maneuver and misses, Cody Rhodes gets the small package and the win. Walks off not only looking strong, not only looking triumphant, but with that new classic IC belt. So fuck all of ya. I'm a fan of John Morrison as much as most of you are, but Cody Rhodes is looking fucking strong, and John Morrison isn't getting a push anytime soon, is he? Don't piss off the people that are your bosses and such, right? Right, Jomo learned his lesson. I'm sure he'll get a push in, like, 2015 or so. We get a promotion for the Be a Star Alliance thing, you know, anti-bullying. I always mention it on here because I do agree with it. I do agree that, you know, something as violent as the WWE needs something like the Be a Star promotion. Not only does it make them look good, but it is a good cause, you know. Stop bullying in schools, stop, you know, kids being violent in schools. Don't be a bully, it's not cool, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. John Laurinaitis comes to Triple H and tells him that Miz and RTruth are beating up people in the back, and I thought for a second that this was going to be another swerve by John Laurinaitis, but it was actually true. They panned to a big mass of people in the change room, in one of the change rooms anyway, and the Miz and RTruth are beating down somebody. The room eventually clears out, and you see Air Boom laid out on the ground. Makes the most sense. I mean, you know, them getting screwed out of their tag team title shot right before they got fired. Why wouldn't they go after Air Boom? Sure, why not? Now, here is where I get to have some fun. Here is where all the Kelly marks start to cry. Here is where Mr. Preston, Mr. Mysterio fan, whatever, I'm going to make my name as long as I can. You know, this is where, you know, Butt Smear Money 2K, or at least half of them, can kiss my ass. can kiss my ass, because I appreciate real wrestling and you appreciate Barbie dolls, you prepubescent bitches. Oh yes. Okay. I've been told in the past that I do not appreciate Kelly Kelly's wrestling ability. So I've broken down this match almost move by move, and we're going to see if we can find Kelly's wrestling ability. Kelly tried to start the match off with an airplane spin that was countered quickly into a slam by Beth. Beth gets an elbow on Kelly. Beth puts Kelly in the tree of woe and hits a low drop kick in the belly chest area. Then locks Kelly in a dragon sleeper. Then literally and brutally just grinds her elbow into Kelly's back for a while, which made me smile. Kelly gets a few slaps to the face in on Beth Phoenix. I will give her credit for that. She got a few slaps to the face on Beth. But Beth comes back with a dirty-looking backbreaker. Kelly fails at a roll-up and eats all kinds of knee shot from Beth. A hot shot suplex from Beth to Kelly. A clothesline and mounted punches on Kelly by Beth. Kelly fails at a backslide horribly and screams like a hooker on payday when she does it. Oh yes. Kelly does hit, I will admit, a very, very sloppy-looking bulldog. It's true. It's true. Natalya does me the extra favor of taking care of Eve on the outside, makes her eat post or clotheslines her. Or she ends up on her backside, you know, whatever. Natalya grabs the mic, and Beth Phoenix puts the little hooker Barbie doll into a beautiful, beautiful leg and arm submission move. Natalya sits at the edge of the ring and says, why aren't you screaming? Why aren't you tapping out? Why aren't you giving up? Da-da-da-da. So, Kelly makes it to the ropes, breaks up the hold. Referee is dealing with Beth. Kelly eats microphone from Natalya and gets a glam slam and loses her Divas Championship. Preston, do you need a hug? Do you? Really? Because you're not going to get one from me, but, you know. Yes, it's true. A real wrestler has the Divas title again. So, if we can take a leaf out of Cody Rhodes' book and bring back the women's title belt, leave the, you know, break the butterfly in half and let all the Barbie dolls share it, bring in some real wrestlers to fight over the women's championship, oh yes, it would be good. And not only that, the whole thing with Natalya grabbing the microphone and wanting her to scream into the microphone and such and such and such. Was quite good. You know, it keeps them heel, which is, you know, what they're trying to do, but at the same time, anybody that's a legitimate wrestling fan loves the fact that Beth won this match, and she is about as heel in this win as Punk was in beating Cena in fucking Chicago. So, yeah, I don't know how long WWE is gonna last keeping Beth and Natalya as heels, because it's just not believable, because they're the ones we want to see. But yeah, that's the end of that. Hopefully that's the end of the Barbie dolls. Oh, and I forgot to mention, before the airplane spin at the beginning of this match, Kelly did try 2 or 3 Luthez presses, which were not executed well at all. They more resembled her throwing her crotch at her opponent about as fast as she threw it at Vince and Triple H to get that belt in the first place. Suck it, Kelly. Congratulations, Beth. We're moving on. We had a promo for Vengeance, which was a really, really horribly done monologue from Mark Henry. So, you know. Now, we have Punk and Alberto Del Rio and Cena in a triple threat Hell in the Cell match for the WWE Championship. Now, the writing for this, I just want you guys to see this before I move on. This is my write-up for just this match. So this match, that I loved so much, is going to take a while. And I've knocked all my papers all over the place. The Doomy clipboard of Doom is still here. You know, give it a couple years, it'll be as famous as Johnny Thunder's notebook. Oh, yes. Now, before this match even started, Alberto Del Rio came out, CM Punk came out, and then my cable cut out. I got on the phone with Rogers really quick and said, what's up with my cable? And then it popped back on, just as John Cena got in the ring. So the cable cut out, so all I missed was John Cena's entrance. I thought that was the most beautiful bit of fucking wrestling fan karma ever. In the beginning, we have CM Punk and John Cena double teaming Alberto Del Rio Punk then turns on Cena and gets a near fall. Cena and Punk square off for a little while. Attempts are made at the Attitude Adjustment and the GTS. Punk's suicide dives to the outside on Alberto Del Rio and Cena. Punk gets a near fall on Alberto Del Rio. Cena and Punk brawl on the outside. Alberto Del Rio hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Cena and gets another near fall. Punk gets a near fall on both Alberto Del Rio and Cena. Punk's back is bleeding at this point because he took a nasty fall at some point on the steps. You can tell by the way all the scratches on his back sort of line up. Punk sets out a table on the outside, and then nothing really happens. Tries to put Cena through it, but Cena tosses him off the apron into the cell, and Punk eats cell post like a champ. Alberto Del Rio eats shoulder post on the inside of the ring, and Punk gets a near fall on Alberto Del Rio twice. Alberto Del Rio rides Punk with a sleeper and a side headlock for a long time until Cena leg drops both of them and gets a near fall on both of them. A backstabber on Cena by Alberto Del Rio, and Punk knocks Alberto Del Rio back out of the ring. Cena and Punk go toe-to-toe again for a while, and the crowd absolutely loves it. Alberto Del Rio takes out both with a chair and looks mighty, mighty mean and convincingly psychotic when he does it. Now, puts Cena on the ground. Puts the chair on top of Cena, puts CM Punk on top of the chair, and then elbow drops the whole pile. I like that. I like that a lot. And then, you know, near falls on both of them once again. Alberto Del Rio gets tossed onto the outside and eats steps like a man he does. Oh, yes. Attitude Adjustment and a near fall by Cena on CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio gets a near fall on John Cena. Alberto Del Rio attempts the cross arm breaker, and Punk senton splashes from the outside to the inside over both competitors. A GTS and a near fall on Cena by CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio and Punk brawl to the outside. Cena gets a roll up and a near fall on Alberto Del Rio. A Randy Savage type elbow from Punk to Alberto Del Rio. Cena comes back in. We get a little bit of a Super Cena sort of hulking up, you know, several shoulder tackles and a couple of flips type thing. Cena puts the STF on Alberto Del Rio. Ricardo Rodriguez gets out the key to the cell. Now, at this point, the logic part of my brain is going off and saying, why does Alberto Del Rio have the key to the cell? I guarantee you, in a couple seconds, I did not care anymore. Alberto Del Rio breaks into the cell with a pipe. John Cena cuts him off, and Attitude adjusts him out of the... I've lost my place, guys. I am very, very sorry. Alberto Del Rio breaks into the cage with the... First day with my new tongue, as Taz would say. Ricardo breaks into the cage with a pipe and a key. Gets himself as far as the apron, and Cena Attitude adjusts him back out of the cage. Alberto Del Rio knocks Cena out with the pipe and locks him out of the cage. This was the most brilliant part of the whole match. That's why I got so tongue-tied about it. Alberto Del Rio took the key from Ricardo, locked John Cena out of the cage, and tossed the key itself, I think, under the ring, if I'm not mistaken. So, Alberto Del Rio, in his brilliance, has done something that us, the entire WWE, have wanted to do for a long time, and that's force John Cena out of the title picture. Now, Alberto Del Rio locks Cena out of the cell. Alberto Del Rio gets a near fall on Punk. Punk gets a near fall on Alberto Del Rio. Top rope enziguri on Punk by Alberto Del Rio, and another near fall. Punk hits the Bulldog on Alberto Del Rio, gets a near fall. Alberto Del Rio grabs the pipe that is still in the cell, whacks Punk with it 3 times. The last one is a mighty, mighty, manly shot right to the head, and your winner is Alberto Del Rio, and I am a happy kid. Now, before I go on, I want to say something, and this is something I will admit to myself. When Alberto Del Rio debuted in the WWE, I didn't think he was shit. I didn't like his matches. I thought he was boring as fuck. I thought he was annoying. I thought he was the Mexican JBL. I had no time for him whatsoever. Over the course of the next little while, you know, when he had his match with Edge at WrestleMania and, you know, a couple other matches here and there, he started gaining my respect. Now, I will say I'm a fan of Alberto Del Rio. This match alone, along with the build-up to it, convinced me. This time around, I believe Alberto Del Rio as the WWE Champion. So... and he's not Cena, so, you know, that's always a plus. Now, somehow, somewhere in the mix, John Cena got back into the cell, grabbed the key from the outside, or did whatever. But it doesn't really matter, because out pop 2 figures in black hoods from under the ring. they don't only take out Cena, they don't only take out Alberto Del Rio, they don't only take out CM Punk, they take out the referees, they take out the cameramen, they take off their hoods, and is it not my boys, the Miz and RTruth, beating the fuck out of everybody, and the camera shots, you know, are all done sideways because the cameramen have taken out the referees, or taking out this and that, and the next thing, and everybody comes down to the cell. Because the key is still in the cell with one of the guys that's now knocked out. So you've got referees trying to get into the cell. You've got the rest of the whole fucking roster, which looked pretty fucking gnarly, coming down the ring. You've got Triple H fucking losing his shit on the outside of the cell. And these guys are in there and they're just doing whatever they want to do because they are locked in the cell with the guys that they want to beat up. They spend most of their time and attention beating up Cena. That doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Eventually they get the police down there. The police can't get in. Eventually somebody from maintenance or whatever tells them the brilliant part and said, hey, why don't you just cut the chain? So they get some chain cutters. As soon as the chain is cut, Miz and RTruth on their knees, hands behind them. The whole idea being is the police cannot use any force if you are willingly surrendering. So instead of getting the beatdown that I'm sure a lot of people think they deserve, the police have to hold everybody else back so they can be taken out peacefully. Until Triple H jumps them and tries to get his shots in, and he gets carried away by the police. He knocks out John Laurinaitis in the process, and the whole WWE is in chaos as the show goes off the air and goes blank. Oh yes. Oh yes. The stock is rising for Miz and RTruth. The stock is rising for, you know, the Divas division bit by bit. The stock is rising in the tag team division just a bit. We have somebody that's not John Cena as the WWE Champion. We have somebody that's not the skanky Barbie doll bitch with the Divas belt. Mark Henry's still the World Heavyweight Champion for now. I can deal with that. He'll probably lose it at Vengeance in 3 weeks. You know, I have to say, all the champions were on this show. All the champions were in action on this show. Now, you're going to say the U.S. title wasn't defended on this show, but you know what? In the tag team title match, the U.S. champion was in action. That is a big, big step. That is one of those little things that gives me a lot of hope for the WWE. All their champions should be meaningful. All their champions should be on all the pay-per-views. All their champions were showcased tonight, and every single one of them, as well as the champions, but the immediate contenders for those championships, all came out, looking strong tonight. I don't think there was a single person, except for the Barbie doll bitch, that came out of this show looking weak. Christian lost, but, you know, he still looked good. Ziggler and Swagger didn't win the Tag Team Championships, but Ziggler had his moments in that match, and he still looks like gold. He has not lost any shine as the U.S. Champion. Mark Henry gets to continue his World Heavyweight title run for a while, but there was no rust on Randy Orton, to say the least. Much as I don't like John Cena, Alberto Del Rio, CM Punk, and John Cena laid it all in the ring tonight, to use the cliche. Even John Cena, I will give him the credit for that. There is not a single person, there is not a single match as a whole, there is not a single moment as a whole that I did not like about this particular show. I don't know what else to say. And we got the Classic Intercontinental Championship belt back, which is also a big, big bonus for me. I really don't have much voice left, don't have much left to say. I enjoyed the fuck out of this show. I hope you guys have enjoyed my review. I have rambled for a long time now. Please, 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 I have been Spaz. Subscribe up there. Tell your friends. Okay, I'm not going to sign off just yet. I am going to say 2 more things. I am going to say a big thank you to everybody in the YWC. 2 things happened to me this past week that were amazing. As some of you know, as some of you who have been subscribed to this channel for a long time know, I have been not struggling work-wise, but I have been not in the greatest work situation over 2011. I was let go from my job back in December. I had absolutely nothing for January and February. I got hooked up with a really, really awesome temp agency that has treated me great in March, and I've been temping ever since. I had an interview last week, and I start a temporary to permanent position with a new company that I'm not going to name on here for, you know, safety and security and privacy type reasons. But I start this Tuesday at a brand new temporary, hopefully to permanent position. I posted that out on Facebook as soon as I found out about it, and I have to say, in sort of the first 10 people or so that congratulated me, who was it? There was, you know, Tom, Kid of Wrestling, congratulated me. There was Julian and Shetty. I can't think of their screen names right now, but they came on and congratulated me. Heather, Nutty Rock Chick, who is a sweetheart beyond words that I can describe, came on and congratulated me and had all kinds of happy words for me. On top of that, I signed on that same day and found out that I had broken 80 subscribers. And in a online community where most people are in the hundreds or 200s or 500s or thousands or whatever, it doesn't sound like a lot, but guys, I really, really appreciate it. And my new goal is to reach 100 by Christmas. So anybody that wants to pass me around to your friends, I'm not sitting here begging for subs. What I am saying is, if you've got friends or co-workers or companions or whatever that you think would legitimately like what I do here, give them my name, pass my screen name on. I would love to reach 100 by Christmas. That is my new goal. It's a small goal, it's a simple goal, and I hope I can reach it. Those of you that are already with me are amazing. Those of you that are supporting me in more than one ways, you know, be it talking to me on here, be it talking to me on Facebook or Skype and things like that, I appreciate every single one of you. Every single one of you has, I don't even know how to say it, but a lot of appreciation from me. So thank you to all of my 83 subscribers. Thank you to everybody that popped up on Facebook or Skype or anything and congratulated me on my work situation. I have been Spaz. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Leave your Q&A questions in the mod. Start a conversation, and I will talk to all you guys very, very soon. Monday Night Raw is tomorrow night, isn't it? I will see you guys then. Stay excellent. Bye-bye.
Get up, come on, get down.